So today I want to talk about your next running target. So if you're somebody who is a keen runner and you compete in races or participate in events, this is going to be particularly relevant to you. So keep watching, keep listening, hope you find it useful. Welcome back to consecutive day 1862 of a diary of a runpreneur. And today's episode we're talking about your next running target and why it's really, really important to those of you who are regular runners. But before we get into that, please don't forget that this vlog is part of a fundraiser of saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultra marathon of run vlogging on consecutive days of distance of a lap of the world, barefoot style. And the more people we get in front of, the more money we raise, more children's lives we save, which is why I do this every single day. So back to the topic at hand. Your next running target, your next running event, your next running objective, your next running goal. Why is it important? Well, I've just this weekend finished one of my running objectives, which is every year I'm a pacer for the local 10k community run. The event I'm talking about is irrelevant really. It's the fact that I've just built up to an event of some kind where I had a performance objective in mind, which was to run a off-road 10k as a 45-minute pacer. It's really important I did a good job because there were people there that were trying to get sub 45 10k times and they were going to hang on to me as their race strategy. So it's important I took it serious. So it went really well. Fortunately, I ran the race very, very comfortably and came in at 44 minutes and 52 seconds or something. So it was perfect from a pacing perspective. So I was really, really happy to deliver as I wanted. But the important thing is once you do events is that the process of doing an event, when you're kind of organising it, booking it, you know, setting up the logistics, all that side of things, setting up your training plan, your nutrition plan, all these types of things. Now, okay, it's a little bit extreme for a 10-kilometre race because I'm referring more to kind of what you do marathons, ultra marathons really, but it's still the same principle. You've prepared for an event of some kind and you've participated in it. You've either completed it or achieved your goals, or perhaps you haven't, but that's almost irrelevant. Just 1 second, just going past somebody. Thanks ever so much, mate. Cheers. Yeah, you've either achieved your goal or you haven't, but either or, you've built up to this single day or multiple day event, depending what it is, and then you've come through it, whether you've, you know, whatever the outcome of the event is, it was almost irrelevant. But what happens after that is you get this lull and you get this kind of depressive state as a runner where you've lost your mojo, you lose, because what happens after an event, usually you rest. And when you rest, you then get used to not doing the training, and then you feel like you've got nothing to aim for, and it's quite depressing. You've built up to this key point in time where you've overcome the challenge of whatever event you've taken part in, and then you get this runner's kind of lull where you're resting, you're not back in the habit of regular training, you've lost your motivation, you've lost your mojo. And that's why your next running objective or target or goal is so important. And ideally, you want to have this next one lined up in advance of you partaking or participating in that event that you've just done. So if that makes sense. And that will stop this lull, regardless of the outcome, whether you've failed miserably or achieved your wildest dreams. You'll then have the next thing lined up that you'll be focusing on. And that's really, really important because it stops that lull, it stops that demotivation, because you've then got something else. Now, ideally you'd want it to be a little bit varied or different to what you've currently just done. But, you know, for example, you know, just on a 10k, it might be that you do a half marathon, or you might do a marathon, or an endurance, or an ultra, whatever. And it can be the same, especially if you're working towards gradually bringing your PB down. But it's more important that you have the next event lined up. And that's how I operate, because obviously I've got this ongoing running streak, but I still participate in multiple events a year, usually 3 or 4 minimum, and I always have the next one lined up. So the next one that I'm looking at is another marathon in autumn, which is potentially Chester Marathon. I've got it loosely booked, and I've got a couple of alternatives also loosely booked for the same weekend. So I haven't officially made my decision on what I'm doing, but I've certainly got something as a placeholder in my diary for the next one, as I can then kind of relax for a couple of weeks now, just ticking over with the mileage before I'm then into the next training block for the next event. And if you do that, you'll find that you always become a kind of motivated runner, because believe you me, that kind of depressive state, we've just finished an event where you've worked so hard to get there, and then you've got this massive lull afterwards. It's really hard to get out of. I've been there a few times, and by having the next one booked, it's a really good way of ensuring that you keep your running career going. So learnings for my diary for today are pretty simple. Always ensure you have your next event or race or objective booked in prior to whatever event you're taking part in. And the reason for that is you overcome what's the dreaded runner's lull, where you've just achieved a milestone, whether it's an event you've performed, you've completed, whatever the outcome of what you've done. Once you do that, you kind of drop down like a stone in terms of motivation, because you've done what you set out to do, and you're now kind of pondering your next move. But if you have something booked in the diary prior to participating in that event, you don't have that runner's lull, because as soon as you finish it, you're kind of resting, recovering a little bit, but you're already thinking ahead to the next event and how you're going to prepare for that one. And that's really, really good to keep you motivated and proactive as a runner. So hope you find that useful. Question or comments, drop me a line, anything relevant I will respond to. Do remember though, if you believe in my mission of saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultra marathon of run vlogging on consecutive days, the distance of a lap of the world, barefoot style, do give this a subscribe, share, like and comment. More people we get in front of, more money we raise, more children's lives we save, which is why I do this every single day. Thank you as always. Stay positive, stay happy. I'll see you again tomorrow.